All right, here's what we're packing for our day trip out to the coast. It's about a 2 hour drive normally, but today I'm avoiding highways, try to take some scenic roads. So it's going to take about 3 hours. So maybe like three and a half if I'm just taking my time. Got 40-ounce Hydro Flask here filled with cold water, lightning cable to charge the phone, earplugs, even though I don't really use them or get to use them because I don't have a navigation device or a phone mount on my motorcycle. So the way I navigate is I just plug in these actual headphones, and it's very uncomfortable to wear these in the helmet actually. Actually, once they're on, it's fine. Once the helmet is on, it's fine. But like squeezing the helmet over these earphones while they're on your ear, it kind of hurts. Taking it off especially. Swiss Army knife, GoPro Hero 7 Black, 5 batteries. 3 of these are like aftermarket, made in Vietnam, Amazon, and then 2 of them are OEM GoPro batteries. I bought this big ass box of gummy bears from Costco. There's like 65 pouches in them. They were on sale. It was a really good deal, so I just bought the big box. Bring 3 of those. These are Brazil nuts. This is a lighter I got for Christmas one year. It's one of my favorite things. Still got some fluid. This is a microfiber towel that I took from work. Aviators, classic. And then straps to tie it down. That's all we have for the day. I don't know what lunch plans are, so I might just have to figure something out. But if, push comes to shove, then this will be my lunch, and I'll just eat when I get home. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Hauvu Moto vlog. It's about 8 a.m. here. I am technically on the clock right now. I am signed in working from home, but things don't really pick up on most days until like 9 or 10. It's been quite slow with COVID-19. So, just kind of taking my time. I feel really clear this morning, so I think we're going to have a little moto podcast, a little chit chat, and use some of the footage that I got yesterday. So I just shared a clip of me packing my little Amazon Basics moto bag, and spoiler alert, that trip did not go as well as planned. The thing about going to the coast, the West Coast, especially around here, that would be like Sonoma. I call it the Sonoma Coast. It's an area like Bodega Bay or Jenner, and the Sonoma Coast State Park is out there. And it's really hit or miss with the weather. In the summertime especially, you can just get a day where it's cloudy all day, and there's these huge just clouds that just swarm the entire coastline and all the surrounding hilly areas, and you can't see anything. Like, you wouldn't even know that there is an ocean there. You can smell it if you get up close, and sometimes there are certain bends in the road along Highway 1 where you can actually see some beach and some water, but for the most part, you just look out and see nothing. Compared to a cloudless day, it's almost always cloudy in the morning, I've noticed, until like 12 or 1. It starts clearing up on some days. But, I've been there about 7 or 8 times, and about 50% of the time I go in the summer within the past couple years, it's just one of those bummer days. And, I try to make the most of it still, but admittedly, it's hard because it makes something that was normally like a 10 out of 10 in terms of beauty and experience, and it turns it into like a 4. Because it's very chilly and breezy when there's no sun. And it's just like, oh my goodness, especially on the motorcycle, it was like so windy. I had to put in my liner for my jacket, but I was like shivering at moments. And I was just like, this is such a bummer. I can't get you guys that good footage. And, I definitely want to go back because the drive out there, avoiding highways, was one of the best that I've had on the motorcycle so far. It was actually the best, and there were so many twisty roads. There were so many shaded twisty roads with like trees all around you. It was like a motorcycle commercial or like a car commercial. I seriously kid you not. But yeah, when the sun is shining out there on the coast, it's just reflecting. It's just endless blue, and you see all these huge like rocks in the coastline, and the coast itself. You really get an idea of how steep of like a drop it is and how close you are to the edge when you're cruising along this windy highway. And it's a surreal, such a magnificent experience that, I had to capture it on camera, and I didn't get that yesterday, but I still got a good ride leading up to it. It was crazy. It was just like so warm going up there. And then once you get to like Napa, like the valley and stuff, it starts getting a little chillier, but it's beautiful. You see all the vineyards and stuff like that, all the wineries. and then you're driving through wine country, and then it starts getting a little chillier and chillier, and then I'm getting closer to the coast, these little coastal like mountain towns, and there's redwoods, driving through that, and I was just super stoked. And then I got there and was like cloudy, and I was like, oh my god, no, it's so cloudy and chilly, and I was just like freezing my butt off, and I was just like, I want to go home. And I was kind of not a happy camper, but I really tried to tell myself like that was an experience for me, because this is what motorcycling is. This is what touring is. And if you can't find a way to enjoy this, then, maybe you're kind of like up a creek, you know what I mean? Like, this is not going to be a good situation for you, Havu. So I've always, the thing is just learning how to fit this into my life and learning what this is going to be for me. I think a lot of people get into motorcycling and they're like, oh, this is not as fun as I thought it would be. Or, for whatever reason they sell. And there's so many motorcycles out there with just such low mileage. I'm like surprised. And a lot of that is, I'm sure people are moving on, but a lot of it also is just, people, I thought it would be cool to get a motorcycle, and it's not that cool, especially if your reason is very weak like that. When I say weak, if it's just to impress girls or to seem cool, like that's not a very strong reason. That's not something that can carry you for the rest of your life. You obviously have to find something more. It has to mean something more to you, because it's a high stakes activity, right? If someone like hits you, if someone runs the red light at 60 miles per hour and you're in the intersection on a motorcycle, like your chances of survival are very low compared to being in a car with walls and airbags, right? So the stakes are high. That's what I mean when the stakes are high. And it's expensive, and it's a time investment. So like, time is the most precious thing we have. We are only on this earth in this body as we know it for one go around. We only get one shot at this, and it could end at any second, whether you're on the motorcycle or not. Anything could happen to you. So it's really great to start really appreciating every single second, every single breath, every single activity you do, to find some kind of joy in it, because life is not guaranteed, and it's too short not to try to find joy in every little thing, or try to find a lesson in every single thing, every single painful thing that has to happen to you, or every single mistake. Obviously you can't just be cheery and happy about the negative things in life, but you can learn from them, and you can see that as gold. Imagine that if you were able to shift the mindset, instead of sulking, instead of beating yourself up, instead of being angry or upset, think of a learning experience as like a little nugget of gold that you can take with you and make you a stronger person, a more happy, successful person. I mean, that's I think that's a good mindset to have. That's where I try to go with my motorcycling, because I've decided that I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to try to be a good motorcycle rider. And I think about the 16 years that I've been driving a car. I'm not saying I'm a Formula One racer or anything like that, but I'm very happy with my skills and my confidence riding a car and driving a car. And I will give you an example of when I first learned to drive a car. I was 15 years old in the cul-de-sac of our neighborhood. And in Maryland, where I grew up, you have to parallel park the car as part of the test. So that's what we were practicing, me and my dad. And I was so bad at it. And all the neighbors, it was like a summer day, so all like neighbors outside were watching. It was like during the summer, And I was just kind of nervous, and I was really bad at it. We had this like Honda Accord. It was a 93 Honda Accord EX, and it was kind of long. It was like a skinny, long, narrow car. And, I failed the driving test, guys, like 7 times, because I was just so nervous and locked up. And one time I finally got it. I've got everything right. And then guess what I did on the final moment? The last thing is just to stop at a stop sign, and I rolled it. And he failed me on that, because it's an instant failure. So oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm sharing that, but it's a great story considering that we just talked about rolling stop signs. And I failed. After I failed, that was probably my 6th time, right? And I did everything right. I killed the parallel parking, and I was stoked, and I rolled the stop sign, and he was like, boom, failed. And he had no remorse. And so the time after that, I passed. But like, I kid you not, I failed that many times my driving test. And to think that I am where I am today, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a very good driver. Aside from the stop sign rolling, I really want to just kind of make it clear that, I'm not like being rude or like butting people in line. This is my turn to go through the stop sign, but I just don't come to a complete stop, right? That's all I'm saying. I look and I'm safe. Like, please guys, you got to be safe. You got to take care of yourselves, follow the rules. Seriously. Like, I'm not joking around about that, but I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. Just let you know who I am. I think there's a good value to that, especially on this platform. But, 16 years I've been driving a car, and I'm really, really, really comfortable with it, and I'm really, really good at it, I think. So to think that all the hours that I had behind the wheel to get to this point, and I drive a sports car now, so it's very low to the ground, so I can drive in such a way that a lot of cars can't. When I get into an SUV and I have to drive my friends around for whatever reason, it's just like, oh, I don't like this feeling. It doesn't feel as planted on the road. I can't take the turns as fast. Like, it feels scarier. It feels like being on a boat somewhat. You know what I'm talking about? I've never driven like a performance SUV or anything, but for a lot of times I'll get in like, well, we'll rent a minivan or something, and I'm just like, I want my BRZ back. It's not fast by any means, but it's super low to the ground. It feels like a sporty ride. And my point is, before I get too much on a tangent, is 16 years on a motorcycle before I get that confident, as I am now. Like, that's crazy to think about. And of course, there is something to be said about me. I'm much older now than when I learned to drive a car. So, that will go into it. My mind is much more focused and developed than it was when I was a 16-year-old boy. But still, when I'm like basically a brand new motorcycle rider, and just it's basically like learning how to drive a car for the first time. The feelings are essentially the same, guys. The feeling that I feel going through these twisties, like a lot of times I'm scared, and it's just like, oh my God, like, I'm going too slow, especially that. There were times yesterday when there's just cars behind me, and I'm just like, I know these cars can go twice as fast as I'm going right now, because they seem kind of impatient, or at least that's what I'm building in my mind, right? I'm looking in the mirrors, I'm like, oh my God, they're so annoyed with me right now. They want to be going fast. Because if I was in my BRZ and there was a motorcyclist taking these turns at like 25 miles per hour, I'd be kind of bummed, because it's somewhat keeping me from enjoying my full experience on this twisty road as well in my sports car. And there were even like times where there were like trucks behind me, big trucks with like little towing things on the back, and they were just trying to dip down these roads. And I don't blame them. They're super fun roads. But for me, it's just like that fear level is still keeping me from achieving, or from really working it and practicing the way, like deep practice, deep work, really putting in that work. So, learned a little bit. And it's just, I have to go out of my way to get to these twisty roads, right? It's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen me just cruising around town. It's very easy to cruise around town. There are no current corners. And these corners that I hit yesterday, it was like nonstop corners for like miles and miles and miles. And it's just a great experience, right? But for me, it's just the more the fear goes down, the more the learning can go up. It's just fear really cripples us as a species, right? A little bit is enough, but we get carried away with the fear, and fear even changes your posture. You think differently, you act differently, you walk differently when you're scared, when fear is too present. And fear like cripples some people for their entire lives, and from reaching their true abilities, and really from just getting all the joy that you can possibly extract from this life. You can't do that if fear is always present. And so that's the thing with me, try to purposely go out there and learn how to ride this motorcycle. And I think that's what I'm going to do, and, see where that takes me. And touring, so far it's been good. I love the idea of just getting on the motorcycle and, having to pack my little bag with the essentials, and just thinking about, okay, what kind of conditions am I going to experience? What's the weather going to be like? It's kind of like the Oregon Trail or Wild Wild West, it's just like in the car, you don't have to think about these things at all. It's just this comfortable, luxurious experience. But on the motorcycle, when you're touring and you're going to be hours and hours away from home, and things like fatigue and weather and just like road conditions, like all this stuff like matters to be taken into account. And just, especially as a new rider, when I'm not confident in my abilities yet, it's kind of like this risky situation. And that's part of the thrill for me, just touring, and just like, okay, is there going to be a parking spot? Am I going to hike? Where am I going to have lunch? Where am I going to stop for gas? Like all these things, it's just like so much more. It seems like, the stakes are higher, as I've said, on the motorcycle. So it's kind of cool. It's like going on these little adventures. And the great thing about living in Northern California is that if I avoid highways, then the road that I take there will almost certainly be like drop dead gorgeous, and like corner roads, like roads built for motorcycles. And then when I get to my destination, it's going to be absolutely beautiful and stunning. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful and stunning, even though it was cloudy, and I'm just always trying to remind myself, just enjoy it. This is all the time you have. This might be your last motorcycle ride. Just try to enjoy it. Don't be a little baby worrying about your sore butt, go do some deadlifts and, beef up your butt a little bit, right? Always trying to think of how it can be better, how I can enjoy this life a little bit more, and how I can enjoy this motorcycling thing a little bit more. I'm going to give myself a chance to really kind of nail it and just put in the practice. It's all about that purposeful practice, really going out there and getting it done, because it's not just going to come to you. You know, in a car, you have to ride a car as your main mode of transportation. You know, in 16 years, you know, a lot of that was just not getting into a car and just going out for the thrill of it. Yeah, when I bought my BRZ, I did that a little bit. And, you know, I'm going out to see places in the car. I'm traveling, going to work. But most of the time, it's just necessary. But now when I have a motorcycle and it's a luxury, it's an extra vehicle, right? So now I have to purposely take the motorcycle. I have to purposely go out there. I have to purposely spend these 10, 12-hour days on the motorcycle, and really, you know, that's the only way that I'm going to get better at this, and I'm really just going to nail it, you know, and really just try to enjoy it. And who knows where this is going, you know? I'm still trying to figure that out. Am I going to be a motorcyclist 10 years from now? I don't know, but right now I'm going to try it, guys, and I'm going to share my journey with you guys. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you made it this far, I appreciate all the continued love and support from each and every one of you. It's absolutely crazy, man. I can't express my gratitude enough. A lot of the times, you know, always I will like and love your comments, because I like and love all the comments. And when I give you that little praying hands emoji, it's just pure gratitude to all of you. And it's just, I wish you all the best on your journey, motorcycle or not, in the market or not, you know, whatever. I wish you the best. I wish you health. I wish you happiness. And I wish you complete joy on your motorcycling journey, wherever it takes you. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.